Alright, on this team assessments page, this is going to relate to our employee directory too, to have the team assessments in each of the employees' actual profile. So the first thing we want to do when we get ready to create a new employee is create that assessment first. It's not imperative that you do that, but it just makes more sense. So to do this, there's instructions here about how to do this, but we just would click on the 6 dots for our template and duplicate that, and we would want to duplicate that with the content. And then we will rename this assessment. And it does make sense to let the name reflect the year you did this. I don't think most people would want to do this more than once a year. So you want to leave that year in there. And then we would take out this one that is here because we duplicated it with the same name initially. And now we can go right back to our assessments. We don't have to mess with any of this right this second, although the instructions are here of what you would do. And most of the time, once you've determined what your maximum pay rate is, you will not be changing it. But if you do need to change it, this is a formula, and it's a super simplistic formula that's just repeating itself. So it's literally just a formula that you would replace. So edit property, you click on the heading there and then say edit the property, and then when this pops up over here you can say edit formula, and you see here the only thing that's typed in here is 50. So if you want it to be 60, you would replace it with 60. If you want it to be 25, you would replace it with 25, and then just save it. That's the way that Notion would say to do that. But if you want to be a little quicker about it, just click in the field itself, and there you see you can just change it right there. And what it does is changes it in every single field all the way down, and so that's the multiplier that we'll use. So that's how you change that. And so once you get that team assessment created for, let's say in this case, John Doe, then we're ready to utilize it. You could utilize it here. You could come in here and start doing the assessment. And the assessment's literally just put the appropriate number of stars into these fields. And you may change these from person to person, but I doubt it. You probably have this weighting idea of some of these things are more important than others that wouldn't change. But if you need to change them, you could. And then the next thing to do would be to link this to an employee. So we will back to our team assessments page just so we get our menu. And instead of clicking on employee directory, I've got 2 tabs open here. So I'm going to jump into this, and we'd say we have a new employee, and we just simply change this name to John Doe. And so then you would just come down here to the assessment, and there's an instructions button here. It's kind of telling us the same things, but we would do a / to say we want to add something here. Just start typing linked. That's the kind of the key, is that we want to get to a linked database. You do have to type enough of it in to get linked as opposed to link, and so we want linked to a database. And now we have a search field here, but I just happen to see what I'm looking for right there. I'm looking for John Doe 2025. But if it weren't in this list, I think it makes more sense to start typing in the name here than it does to start looking through all 95 of these. And so because I have the one I want, I'm just going to click there and click the X to close this. And now the assessment is here, and it's asking you which of the views do you want to use, and it makes the most sense to use the assessment view. And so we would click that. You can see right now it has not used that. I see the level of self in there, but when I click the assessment, it should switch it. Now it does not say that. You could also put this into the team members page in the exact same way and choose the self-assessment. And the only thing they would get is the question and the stars, and that's it. The links would be here, but that's it. Just the questions and how many stars they give themselves, and they wouldn't see any of the additional data. I'm going to go ahead and open this as a full page so we can see the whole thing. And so this is where I would do the assessment from. I've created the assessment and just left it basically at the default state, and then I've gone and created this linked view of it inside the employee's directory page or his profile page, and then I can actually do it here and just start changing these levels from, let's say, on this can you read a tape measure, metric and imperial, that this guy's a 5, and immediately all of the math is happening over here, and we would start seeing that this guy is earning a $50 pay rate based on he's a 5-star guy on being able to read a metric tape measure. But this would also include a 5-star would say if you read these instructions, the 5-star would include them being able to train someone else. So you can see here there's literally step by step. 0 stars means this, 1 star means this, 2, 3, 4, and 5 means this guy is at the manager level and has master level of attribute skill that we're talking about right now, reading a tape measure, and can train others, and then hardly ever makes a mistake. So that's who would be a level 5. And of course, right now, everything is set to 1 star. That's kind of the default. And so if we come down to the bottom, his pay rate right now, because he's only got 1 5-star and he's got a bunch of 1 stars, would be $10.53 if your maximum rate was 50. If you change the maximum rate, you would get different results. But that's how you use this. That's how you put this assessment into the employee's profile page, and this is ready to be used, and that's all you need to know about the employee assessment.